2021. So it's all systems go. What did we do? We tinkered with the mining policy. Immediately, I think we came to power. By September, we were launching the new mining policy that will now be able to implement that which we want to achieve. And the policy must be in tandem with the new Dawn government administration in terms of, the manifesto that we gave to our people.
Wonderful.
Let me just finish there. So really, then we said, what are the low-hanging fruits? Because when you take over a dysfunctional economy as it was, we needed to look in the mining space, what are the low-hanging fruits? In mining, Jack, there's what we call the greenfield mines, there's what we call the brownfield mines. The brownfields are those that are already operational, they are a mine. Then the greenfields are when you go to the bush, you are exploring, you are about to start a mine.
You're about to start, yes.
So the brownfields were the low-hanging fruit. What are the challenges? All of them were in court. And we said there will be no mining in court. So, Minister, get all the mines that are in court, KCM, Mopani, Lumwana, Kansanshi, get them to the table. We need them to start producing. And that's why we said, okay, when you analyze the KCM deal, we were just in court fighting in London, wasting people's time. The mine went to as far as being on care and maintenance. So we needed to bring it back. So we called Vedanta, and we had a new agreement, new investment coming. We don't want you to misbehave the way you misbehaved. And they have come to the party, and we said, let's now do this. So KCM began to produce. Mopani has begun to produce. In 2024, we scored 820,000 metric tons, an increase also of about 16%.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Honorable, you also mentioned on the rise of gold production.
Yeah.
You said now by up to 41.7%. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. What does it mean for the country? Also for ordinary Zambians? Because before you come in, Honorable, I just want to mention that these figures, they don't mean anything if the trickle-down effect is not felt by a person in Chambishi, in Dambwa North, in Chawama.
Exactly. So, Jack, these figures you hear, I always say they are not just romantic figures to make people feel good or economists feel good. If we increase production to 3 million tons, it will mean more jobs to our people. Mopani alone, from the time we brought it back on board, 1,900 jobs have been created. That is what these figures mean. So when we say 3 million tons, it means that we look at the brownfields, Shaft 28 in Luansha, dead for 23 years. It's back on board, water is being pumped out, 3,000 jobs will be created in Luansha. When you go to Luansha today, you can feel life coming back. That is why we are talking these figures. When you look at Kansanshi and Lumwana, both of them are doing expansion projects. Lumwana is doing what they are calling the super pit, which will employ in excess of, over I think 4,000 people, 5,000 people. Kansanshi same, they are doing what they are calling the S3, expansion project. So all these figures, when we say we are investing all these billions of dollars, at the back of our mind is the consequence of that investment. So what is the consequence? More direct jobs for our people. What is the consequence? There will be need for more suppliers of goods and services to these mines. That is a trickle-down effect. So if there are more suppliers, if there are more jobs, what does that do? If I'm selling my vitumbua on the street, a miner will get paid, give their children some excess money, they go and buy vitumbua, the economy is running. If more people are working, not everybody is driving. Younger drivers, taxi drivers will need to be booked. And they are booked because now more people are working, so there is activity within the economy. That's why we are saying 3 million tons. If, for example, today we are getting $10 million, I'm just giving that as an example.
Yes, please.
At the rate of 820,000 metric tons of copper production, if I go to 3 million tons, when you do the math, that will be 30 million. It will be tripled. And that will now feed into the demand for free education. It will feed into the demand for CDF. It will feed into the demand for social cash transfer, for cash for work. That is where the money is coming from. So that is the trickle-down effect, and that's why we are saying, let's grow the mining sector. I know you are. Let me finish just one point. You have not come on this earth now. you know that before 2021, for example, the economy was in shambles. When you analyze the mining sector at the time, it is a no-brainer that it was the cause. So now that we are rebuilding it, more jobs are beginning to spring up. It will not be all rosy just now. It will be a process. So we have to run through this process as the mine grow, as the economy grows, as the money is being pushed into the treasury. Then we are going to see the trickle-down effect, including yourselves. You must be busy people when the economy grows, because you'll be called for interviews all over. You'll be called to do programs all over. That is the trickle-down effect. Already you are talking to me right now.
Yes, Honorable.
Indeed.
It's
because
not
of
an
what
easy
you
thing.
saw we did yesterday.
Yes,
You are
yes,
able
yes.
to pick that these guys, I think there is a positivity here. So how do we make this have a benefit to our people? What do we see as a trickle-down effect? This is exactly what I'm explaining now.
Thank you. And the thing is, most people that follow news will be able to tell these figures, and they'll be able to see some of these things.
Yeah.
But for the general citizenry out there,
Yes.
if you give figures like the figures you gave yesterday to say
Yeah.
in the first quarter,
Yeah.
Production has increased by, is it 2,000?
Yeah. By 30%.
By 30%.
Call it 30%.
Yeah, 30%.
Yeah.
Are we able to tell, the way you were able to tell to say between this time, the production has increased up to this much. Are we able to tell to say this production will, the time frame that we have for us to create maybe 2,000 more jobs is 6 months or 3 months? Do we have things like that?
Yes, so for example, 2 weeks ago, Jack, I went to a mine called Kitumba because of the issue of not mining in court.
Yes.
That mine in Mumbwa has been riddled with legal battles for I don't know how long. So when we came, we said the policy is no mining in court. Come to the table. We discussed, talked.
Let's go back on the ground.
Mine. Yes, and we went back to the mine site. It was done in August 2024. 2 weeks ago, I was in Mumbwa to commission the stripping of that mine, meaning the opening up to begin to produce. It is going to create 2,500 jobs. So right now they are employing. That is the effect. All right. Mopani, I gave an example. When we just finished the structure of the deal, what followed next? 1,900 people were employed. 1,900 families. Again, Mopani was owing a lot of suppliers at the time. They paid Kitwe City Council 87 million kwacha. Do you know what happened? The Kitwe City Council had retirees who were owed for months on end.
People got paid.
They got paid.
Nice.
And Kitwe City Council is current. So that is the impact. That is what you see.
I don't get to hear all these nice things when we don't have it. We should be having this conversation often, Honorable Minister.
That's why we're here.
Honorable Minister, yesterday I really followed your presser. You
Yeah.
talked of the Mineral Regulations Bill and the Geological and Minerals Development Bill.
Yeah.
For most of us who are hearing for the first time,
Yes.
I would like to know, what are they? And then you said they will help us move in full gear. That's what you said.
Yes.
How will they help benefit the economy?
So thank you very much. Very important questions, and these bills are important. And for me, of course, the boss, the president, was on us to have these pieces of legislation in place. But you know, sometimes as a country, everybody wants to comment on everything. So there was these issues of, no, we haven't been consulted. So as a Democrat, the president said, Minister, let's not enact it. Let's take it back to everybody who is complaining that they have not been consulted. Then everybody was consulted. So I would have loved that by 2022-23, these bills will have been laws already. Because, number one, the Minerals Commission, Zambia, Jack, is 750,000 square kilometers. We have had no regulator since independence of the mining sector, yet it is the backbone of our economy. Me as Kabuswe, seated in Lusaka at the Ministry of Mines with my staff, we cannot know what is happening, for example, in Kaputa or in Kashina in the Northwestern Province. We may not know. But why did we put the Minerals Commission in place? To regulate, to check, to supervise. Also, as a nation, I think we were suffering a lot from lack of supervision in terms of the real production figures. You are a journalist. If you research, you will hear that at some point, a certain country was reporting that we have imported so much tonnage from Zambia, yet our records are showing we have only exported so much tonnage. That is a leakage, and the Minerals Commission Act will cure such things. It will also speak to illegal mining. Understatement of production figures that reformer mining about mine 10 kg but over to mine 5 kg so that they avoid tax or something. We want even mineral accountants who are surveyors to sit in these mines to check what is happening, to check compliance. And then also we want to make sure that everyone mining in Zambia today, the government must know, because we must tax those mining activities through mineral royalty. We must generally check what is happening. So that is why these pieces of legislation are very critical. The second one, which was done recently, what we are calling the Geological and Minerals Development Bill.
Yes.
That one has now a specific directorate for artisanal and small-scale mining. Now, that is a very noisy sector. So when we came, we said there is no way we can just neglect it to run like that. We need a supervisory department, which is a director of artisanal and small-scale mining. So it's going to look specifically at that to speak to issues of how do we take care of them? How do we capacity build them? Because therein also lies what we are calling the Artisanal Mining Fund. So how do we capacity build our own, artisanal miners so that they grow from being artisanal miners to junior miners, to small-scale miners, to owning large mines. This is why we want to develop them. But you cannot do it in a vacuum. You need a legal framework. You need a backing of the law.
How has it been done in the past?
It was just...
Chipante-pante?
Yes.
How many cooperatives have been issued with mining licenses so far?
So far, we've done in excess of 700 licenses to Zambians. In there are, artisanal licenses, small-scale licenses, and large-scale licenses.
Honorable, the Mingomba mine by Cobalt,
yes.
People say that it's the next big thing in Zambia's mining.
Yes.
What is the update on the project?
So the Mingomba, actually, I also give you a history because you have said these things that so that you understand.
Yes.
So Mingomba mine is born out of a license within the Lubambe mining tenement. So it was hived off because we discovered that there is this deposit, suspected deposit, that could be very beneficial to the country. So we hived it off the Mingomba license. In simple terms, to a license yaba Lubambe to a panga Mingomba. Okay? And then the drills were done through AI, and they discovered that this is going to be the richest copper deposit, but of high grade also. And the mine will be big. So they are drilling now. Next year, they are starting what they are calling shaft sinking. Again, for you to do shaft sinking, Jack, you have to trust the jurisdiction where you are doing that, because shaft sinking is basically mleimba fieloba. Mleimba mwapanga chirindi chakwa chikamitwale ukuli umukuba. That is shaft sinking. And it takes a lot of time. It employs people in thousands. Actually, even the Lubambe mine itself, I think the president is going on the 22nd of May to go and launch shaft sinking at Lubambe mine, while at Mingomba it starts next year. So these are huge decisions that you make in an economy where you have trust and confidence. So then I will have lost the money. So really, the Mingomba mine is progressing very well, and they have moved in record time. For them to start shaft sinking next year, it's in record time, and we are excited.
For people who have no idea what shaft sinking and all that is, how long until we start seeing the deposits?
For a huge mine, to sink a shaft, it can even take you 2 years. Just to sink a shaft. Because if you don't sink a shaft properly, you kill people. Because that is what takes you to. So what you do first is you sink the shaft. A shaft is like where we are seated, the main hole. Actually, a shaft can even have tables like this. After it is sunk down there, then now you start doing what they call haulages. haulages are now the route to where the Mukuba is. So they are in the haulages, and you start doing secondary development. So the shaft is primary development, the haulage is secondary development, and you go in sub-levels, and depending on the mining method that you're using. So within 2 years, we are going to see, 2-3 years, we are going to see that the mine is developed. It's not an easy thing. It's a huge decision, but we are hoping that they will be part of the 2031, target of 3 million tons.
Honorable, I need a quick update on this regarding the ongoing Zambia aerial mapping survey for minerals launched in 2024. Also, what's an update on that one?
I love that question. So, as I was giving you the
when you like a question.
Indeed.
No, but I really want people of Zambia to get this update so that we're moving on the same page.
That is important. So, you remember the 4 pillars that I gave you, one of which is joint ventures. But we don't want our people to own licenses where they don't understand, what is sitting on those licenses. So, we made a decision as government, huge decision because it involves a lot of money, to map the country. That is the aerial survey that you're talking about. So the country is being mapped now, it's been zoned, and we are hoping that by next year, because they told us that in 18 months they can finish the whole country. So that information will now give you, Jack, that where you are seated, there is copper, there is potential for copper or gold. So that when we cut a license there, you will carry your license and go to an investor and say, I have this license, I don't have the money. So you as Kabuswe, you have the capital, me as Jack, I have the license. Let's joint venture together. You spend on my license, then we agree on the shareholding structure and how you recover, what you have put in as investment.
So how will people have access to that information to know, like, my farm or my plot has got?
Definitely, when the report is done, government will own the information. That is purely government property, because information like that can easily be stolen. So that will be classified information for government, but it will be made available, as and when is it. Because as government also, we are very keen in participating in the mining space. We have said we will not only end at mining, we will also go into mineral trading. Remember the pillar number 4, value addition, beneficiation, investing downstream. So we want to have access to metal and value add, but also trade in the minerals. So this is something that we are doing. The structure, like for example, of the Mopani deal, where you say 50%.
I will come to the Mopani deal, Honorable, just yet. Please just enlighten me when you talk about value addition.
Yes.
What's known on the ground is we just export raw materials and we get almost nothing from our minerals. Where are we now?
No, we don't get. Jack, I'm a person who speaks the truth. When you go to Zambia today, not just the copper belt, most of the things that we've seen develop in Zambia came out of the mining sector. When you look at the copper belt, the mining sector, a lot of roads. In fact, the president likes saying, nobody should be saying this is if something is found in your area, you say this is mine. No, because most of the development that Zambia has seen came from the Copper Belt province through the mining sector. So if we say we have gotten nothing, we are not being sincere. The sincere message is at some point we lost track and we haven't been getting value from what we should get in terms of the mining space. And this government is changing that narrative. That's why we are saying we are going beyond value addition. We have been adding value in Zambia, Jack. As it stands now, Zambia does not allow the export of concentrates, copper concentrates. We don't. You have to beneficiate them into copper cathodes. And we produce copper cathodes. That's value addition. We have added value from concentrates. In fact, value addition starts at copper itself. After you mine, igaya copper, mwafunyamu ifiko, yasanka concentrate. You have added value to those things. But again, you want to go beyond concentrates and start, you're producing anodes and cathodes and copper blisters. That in Zambia we do. But we want to go beyond now. Instead of just ending at copper blisters or copper cathodes. Now we want cables, copper cables, to be manufactured here in Zambia.
How far? That was my question, actually, Honorable, as you're explaining these things. Yes. How far are we from even just producing our own copper cables?
We are doing that.
We're already doing that?
Yes. Listen to this.
Please.
How we were living, Jack, Ngavena, Zambia. And do you know that before UPND and President HH came, if Zamefa wants to produce cables, copper cables, or neocantin in dollar, kuyashita copper ya Zambia ku London at the London Metal Exchange. Nomba iyo ni nomo twale ikala nolo. You go, you wali mebala. Ne fintu yamataba yobe. Pakuchita access ayo mataba. Kuya kuchalo chimbyo wayasend. Your own things. So now, the UPND government has changed that policy. You have to access copper within Zambia. Olo yo twale ya mkushita ku London. Kukuchaja no mtengo wa transport yo batwele copper yafu bine mchalo myenu ku London. Now
that used to happen until when?
2021 when UPND came. UPND has changed the policy. So now our local manufacturing, cable manufacturing companies can get copper locally. Bafunyako na filefi ama charge ya
transport and all the storage and all that.
Yes.
Honorable, thank you so much for the update. I want us to move on. You've criticized, in the past, the mining deals where government held only a small percentage stake compared to investors.
Yeah.
Now, in your own words, Honorable, you mentioned that investors only come to make money for themselves.
Yes.
And you also said that you will find that we are signing deals where the mining company held 95% and the government only 5%. Now, in your opinion, what is the best agreement to ensure that there is fairer distribution of benefits, especially for Zambians?
Opani 4951, fantastic agreement.
I like that. As we are still on this conversation, I'm taking you back. Taking you back. Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, issued a statutory instrument number 4 of 2025, suspending the export duty on precious stones and metals from 15% to 0.
Yes.
That was only 2 months after it was initially implemented. Try to balance me. Here, try to make me understand, and this was a contentious conversation.
Yes.
You just said almost 50%, right? 45, 51. But now here we're even taking out the 15%.
No.
What is the...
So, this is... there was serious misunderstanding.
Thank you. Bring us up to speed.
So, Zambia has been benefiting from the emeralds for a long time, of course. And the misinformation I want to clear, that 15% never meant that we would not be getting anything because now we've taken it to 0. No. That was the export charge when you are exporting your emeralds. So, during our colleagues who left the PF, that thing was there.
Yes.
The 15%.
Yes.
They introduced it and quickly
removed it.
It's an export duty on emeralds. So, it is something that, well, as governments, sometimes you try to do certain things which you feel will benefit your people more. When you look at my report, have you noticed that emerald production went down? What I was giving yesterday.
I need to look at it again in terms of emerald production.
Emeralds went down because the first and foremost, the market was basic. Then that 15% meant that our emeralds will even fetch more in terms of cost. So that increased the price. As they were exporting, they pay 15%. Of course, they lump it on the price of emeralds. So one of our mining companies called Kajem stopped producing for 6 months. And we lost production of almost, I think, 40, depending on the figures I gave yesterday. So that is when now Minister Msokotwane and team, we thought maybe it's time to first put this on ice and then even consult more. But that does not mean government is not getting mineral royalty from the mining of emeralds. We are getting that. We are getting income tax. We are getting dividends from the emeralds that are producing. Our people are still employed. Our people are still supplying those mines. Those mines are still operating, and we are getting all those taxes. So that one had just to do with the export tax, as they are removing the emeralds out of Zambia. Meanwhile, they will have paid all the necessary taxes that they should pay, including the dividends that they must pay.
Wonderful. You know, when you don't come out often to give this information, you have people that that will create a narrative, and that's what the
Correct.
country will believe.
Correct.
So information.
And I saw your comment yesterday. You were Walen Sokati.
No, I was merely praising you. I was thanking you for creating the news.
Yes.
What I've seen now, you want us to talk about the UPND. Now your media team is they like counter. They like to counter instead of creating the news. Like, look at all this information that the minister is giving. Why are you not the ones giving it so that other people can react? But anyway, I wasn't.
Don't worry. We first, what we wanted to do, Jack, is to put systems in place. Systems, and you can see that production is going up.
Yes.
When we came, I used to say, I know this is a conversation we are exchanging, even what we used to use in the past. I was telling people, I said, the mining sector was in ICU. Yeah, ilikuwa chumwana na kwa techipute twala mtina chimutwala mu ICU. Walishibe chipute mweba issue. So those of you that don't know chipute, it's an what you go abscess or boil or something.
Yes, a boil, yes.
Yeah. So I was saying not to chipute, and it's going to be painful, because when you are pressing that, do you feel the pain when a child is crying? How mothers feel. That's how we were feeling as leaders when we are pressing it, squeezing it, removing the past. We needed to take this economy to its true position, doing debt restructuring and, bringing the mines back to life. That is the boil you are pressing it until the past comes out. A strong leader, knowing you are making the right choices, sometimes even when there are so many cries, you hoard, because you know that beyond this crying,
things are going to be okay.
We are going to see production going up. Already that is showing. We are going to see maize production coming up. All that is showing. We are going to see a mixture of energy, because we are now going to have an energy mix. And I'll tell you, Jack, beyond this year, load shedding will be a thing of the past, because now we are working with targets. So really, we needed to do that.
Also, when you say beyond this year, load shedding will be a thing of the past. I've heard that statement from the president, from Zesco, MD, and even from you. In the past, but load shedding has probably also continued. So I don't know what assurance we have going forward.
It's a different ball game altogether. Where I went to Kitumba mine, for example, in Mumbwa, the time of the launch, they were saying we're going to have a challenge with power, because you remember 2024, we had serious drought, which resulted into, the energy crisis. Because, of course, you and I know our electricity is predominantly hydro.
Yes.
So, because of that challenge, when we were in Kitumba, the president called the directors of Kitumba, do a plant of solar.
Yes.
And they said, okay, we can do 50 megawatts, but help us first, we need to develop the mine. Then the president said, no, can you do it in parallel? As you are developing your mine, start constructing your 50 megawatt. Here we are, November, we are launching the 50 megawatt. I went there, 1 megawatt is already done, and they are using it at the mine. They are not using the power from the grid.
Nice.
So you can see.
Honorable, my producer says we have a lot of phone calls waiting. Before I bring in the public, I want us to look at two issues, then we can come in. Before I go to the next issue, I'm still on the 15% zero tax or duty, export duty.
Yes.
You know that the previous government had it on and then they removed it.
Yes.
When you are planning to reactivate it, which you are going to deactivate 2 months later, there were no consultations of what could happen if you reactivated it. Is it because maybe someone twisted the arm of government for you to reverse it? What really happened? Just run me through.
No, it's
because it looks like someone just said, okay, let's put a tax. Oh no, it's working against us. Okay, let's move it. But there was no conversation prior.
You make decisions because you want to maximize things in a particular, period of time. You need resources, and you say, where can we get resources? Let's lump a tax here on MROs because maybe there's an upswing. But government is composed of human beings. If you realize that this is not working, there is no harm. Jack, as human beings, when you make a mistake, there is no harm in saying, okay, I shouldn't have passed here, I should have passed there, I'm sorry, I'm back. I correct and move. It's life, it's part of life. But if you want a minister like myself to be an angel, you are expecting too much. I'm not an angel, I'm a human being. But of course, I'll try my level best to do the best that I can to make sure that I produce for the Zambian people. In the process, as we are doing certain decisions in the mining space, certain things may be mistakes, but we have to correct them and move because we are human. Only God cannot make a mistake.
Thank you. Before I bring in the public, Honorable Minister, the Speaker of the National Assembly, I followed this. Nelly Muti directed you to issue a ministerial statement explaining why parliamentary approval was not sought in the sale of Mopani copper mines to International Resource Holdings. Yeah. So some of your critics claim that you will face consequences once the UPND is no longer in power for failing to subject the transaction to parliamentary approval as required by law when dealing with national assets. How do you respond to that?
You want the judge to cite me for contempt because as a journalist, you know that this matter is in court. But what I'll tell you is we did what is best for the country. And I don't want to be contemptuous. Otherwise, tomorrow the judge will call me that you are influencing our decision.
We can, thank you.
But what I'll tell you, I like the fact that Mopani has paid retirees who were suffering. I like the fact that 1,900 people have been employed by Mopani. I like the fact that their production, even as at yesterday's report, has gone up by 58%. I like the fact that money has been injected. I like the fact that we extricated that company from the Glencore deal. When you interrogate that deal of Glencore, you'll be shocked, which was signed by the previous regime. It was basically us as the slaves, then the owners of the company as masters. So whatever benefit it has brought to the Zambian people, it makes my heart at peace.
What's the share deal between Mopani and the government?
49-51.
Mopani has 51.
Yeah.
Government has 49.
Yeah.
What about the allegations that you have become a multi-millionaire after the deal? Personally, you, not the government, but the minister.
Somebody should go to the bank and check my account whether I'm a multi-millionaire. So
Honorable, let's. But did your life change after the deal in terms of
my life
the bank account?
My life changed when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. That's when my life changed.
Do we have okay, let me know when they were pressing me that there are a lot of people on the waiting list. Now, Honorable, there's been reports of significant pollution in Kafue River caused by a copper mine operated by Sino Metals. I want to know, have you been able to ascertain the extent of the damage?
So when it happened, Jack, we went there, myself, the Minister of Environment, the Minister of Water, and Copperbelt Minister. We went and assessed. First and foremost, the immediate thing that we did was to shut down the mine.
You shut down the mine? It's
closed as we are talking. We did shut down the mine. It's not operational.
Okay, Honorable. So just hold your thought. Let's see if we can bring in the public kindly. Okay, okay, fine. We'll still be here. Yeah, so that you can hear the public. Okay, so you will. Okay. So yes, so you're saying that the mine is shut down?
Yes. So the mine is shut, and the mine safety department, the Zema, WAMA are working out you know.
Okay, so my producer says there's a caller. Hi there, good morning.
Good morning, Showstar. How are you?
I am very fine, thank you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Comrade Mukosa. Coming from within Lusaka.
Comrade who?
Mukosa.
Mukosa, okay, within Lusaka. You may go on and talk to Honorable Minister. He is listening.
Yes, Honorable Minister, good morning.
Good morning, Mukosa Mlishan.
Very patient. Me, my concern is about I don't know if you are lying or it is the truth. I think many people would want to know this. We have been told by the opposition and other people to say the government is not getting any taxes from the mines. The mines are on further or to make a clarity on this. What are those taxes which the government is not taking, is not getting, from the mines? Secondly, my second question is, what is your take looking at these people, the Tonse? Because Tonse is
Wow, the line keeps
crying loud.
Can you say what you said, Tonse? What? I lost you there.
The line is not very clear. Maybe you can cut it. Maybe they'll come back. But maybe just to respond to what he's already. There's another caller. Okay. Hi there. Good morning.
Yes, this is Mukosa. My line got cut.
Okay. No. It wasn't just clear. You can continue. So the Honorable Minister was asking when you said Tonse has done what? You may continue from there.
Yes, I was saying, to me, Tonse is PF. So I was saying, with these people like PF, many of them, Ulankania, Dola, Vutia, Vuta, when they are very much aware that they are the one who brought this issue out, exchange rate is Akatskike, by them closing and mismanaging the mines, like the two mines, the major two mines, Mupana and KCM, because our mines are the major contributor to the stabilization of the exchange rate in this country. Yes. So what is the take? What is your take, Mr. Honorable, looking at these same people that brought this problem, them crying around this? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So can I respond?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Maybe we can just respond, then we can take the...
So, Mr. Mukosa, twatotera sana ba Mukosa for these two very important, questions. So when the opposition, yes, you are right, Tonse is basically PF. They have just changed jerseys. They were wearing green at home and away they are wearing Tonse. It's the same team. So Tonse is just their away jersey, but they are the same characters. That's why you can see that even the arrogance is still there. If you go, look at Uka. First, the Uka was home jersey. They broke down away again, Tonse, again, confusion. You can see that it's in the DNA of PF because Tonse is basically PF. So their DNA is confusion. You remember when Eddie Galungu was being elected, it was confusion and pangas, and it's in their DNA, it's part of them. So you are right, Mr. Mukosa, Tonse is basically PF. So tax holidays. There is no tax holiday that has been given to any mine. And these people, when they come, even you, Jack, on your podcast, when they come, ask them, okay, government has given tax holidays. Can you list them down? That this tax holiday has been given, this tax holiday has been given, and government is losing. So, Bamukosa, let me assure you, and through you, the Zambian people, Jack, immediately you mine today, anything that you mine, before you do anything to it, it attracts what is called mineral royalty. That is benefit number one. As you are processing, if I'm a shareholder, it also attracts dividends when profit is made on your mine. It also attracts income tax on your mine. So all these taxes are still there. If we are not getting any taxes from the mines, Jack, this economy will die. That's how come PF killed it. PF killed this, now Tonse, killed this economy by paralyzing the mines. KCM, Mopani, our big contributors to GDP, including Kansanshi. All these mines, by the way, when KCM is at full throttle, when Mopani is at full throttle, when Kansanshi, Kalumbila and Lumwana are full throttle, and the Kansanshi mines, just these four can give us 1 million tons when they are at full productivity, because KCM alone, when it reaches its peak, it will hit 300,000. Mopani at its peak will reach 300,000. The other, that is 600. Lumwana will hit at its peak 250,000. That is already 850. Kalumbila, 200. It gives you 1 million. Four of them at full throttle. So that is what we are rushing to. There is no tax holiday. What we did, Jack, we allowed what we call mineral royalty to be deductible when you are calculating income tax.
Honorable Minister, with all these benefits that you are mentioning, clearly mentioning them,
yes,
there will still be a concern that there is a huge gap between mineral wealth and national development. What is the connection? What is the delay? This is over 60 years later in independence.
If you make KCM, for example, it goes down to start producing 565. What I gave as, what it was at the time we were, bringing it back to life. It has now increased to 2,000 by 2,000%. That is huge. So the disconnect is when these mines stop functioning. Jack, if you are not eating food, your body will start showing. Your body must eat. So the economy, our economy, 17% of our GDP feeds off the mines. So it's like a tree which you've planted. Muledia fia ma fruits, muledia, but tamulefua chinua menshi, tamulefua chidie, pakwat, it gives you more fruit. So the negativity in growth in the economy. Do you know that at 2021, before UPND took over, our economy was growing at negative 2.8%. Meaning, as ichalo chinonga chali ni company kuisala, we should have closed because we are highly indebted. That's why you had issues of debt restructuring.
Where are we now in terms of economic growth?
We are now heading towards to 6.6%. I think you had the projections. Last year, there was drought. We were downgraded that will grow by 2.5%. And ourselves, our numbers were like that. But because we worked so hard, let me finish this point. We went to 4.5%. So we are growing in the positives now. And it will begin to show as they trickle down to our people.
Wonderful. Hi there, good morning. Good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
Very fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Isaac Naremba calling you from Unza.
From Unza?
Yes.
All right, please, Mr. Isaac, you may go on and talk to the Honorable Minister.
Yes, Honorable. There was that issue where the U.S. ambassador highlighted that Zambia is losing $3 billion every year in the mining sector. Like, can you elaborate on that one? Tell the public how is this $3 billion being lost to, if you may.
Mr. Isaac, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much, Isaac. And you know that I think that statement was made not only on the mining sector. I think the statement was on the illicit financial flows, and I don't know where that figure came from, because Jack, I'll tell you, if Zambia today lost $3 billion, the economy will feel it. If that $3 billion was within the economy, because then you are talking about our economy right now, our GDP is towards $28 billion, very small GDP. That's why we are saying we need to double it. So when $3 billion is lost within this economy, you feel it.
So those are lies?
I don't know. I'm not going to classify them as anything. I don't know where those figures were coming from. I didn't use the justification of those figures. All I'm saying is I don't know. I don't know where those figures came from. But the mining sector is not losing that kind of money. That is not true.
Okay. Hi there, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Showstar.
Good morning, thank you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Justin. I'm calling you from Chilanga. Good
Uh,
morning, Honorable.
Good morning, good morning. I didn't get your name, sir.
My name is Justin.
Justin.
Justin from Chilanga.
Okay, Justin. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Honorable Minister, mine is I just want to understand your take concerning the export of copper.
Yes.
Since independence, we've been exporting raw copper.
Yes.
So, is there any plan from the European government so that we can be able to improve the export
The
to
revenues,
copper?
yes. Yes.
So that we can be getting more from the export that we're exporting.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you, Justin.
Justin, I'm so happy with that question. I think I did interrogate that question. Yes, we haven't really been exporting rock. We've been exporting right now, like I told you, we've reached. We do export cathodes. Now that is, again, I said that is value addition, but we want to go beyond that and start making cables. But we need to export really. Our economy cannot consume the entire copper that we produce, even when you value add. That, of course, we set up industries that do value addition, but even when they do value addition, the market in Zambia is about 20 million people. We need Comesa to have a buy-in. We need, other regions to have a buy-in so that we export. That's why you've seen the president is very, very serious on the Lobito corridor, because Jack pulling 3 million tons of copper, even through downstream investment, we'll need a lot of proper infrastructure. Number one, we'll need proper energy infrastructure. We need proper road infrastructure. We need really, enablers to be able to support that kind of material, because it is quite a lot of material, 3 million tons. As at now, we are doing less than 1 million, but still the roads are busy. If we go to 3 million, we have to be ready. Borders must be opened all over so that as we value add, as industries begin to spring up, they will have corridors where they will be able to use as they, export what they are supposed to export. So, Bajaki, Mwisakamana, one of the 4 pillars is actually value addition. It's a policy that we've put in place. By the way, you heard that IDC and a company called Mercuria have gone into an agreement where they'll be doing mineral trading. IDC is Industrial Development Corporation, a wing of government. So they have done a JV where they'll be doing mineral trading, and that will bring a lot of value to our economy.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, what's your plan for the small-scale miners, popularly known as the Jerabos, bearing in mind that we have small-scale miners in Chingola, Chambishi, Mufurira, Kitwe, Rwansha, bearing in mind that there are dump sites they can work on?
So, Jack, thank you very much. Again, that is an important question. What we have been doing, Jack, is to actually negotiate deals with mining companies to be able to help our small-scale miners. We started that with a controversial Black Mountain. I'll call it controversial because we had to change the structure, the way it was done. In the past, only a few people were benefiting. We had to structure it in such a way that a lot of our youth benefited from it. We have also negotiated an agreement with, NFCA for TD6 in Chambeshi and Muflira, and our youths are working. Actually, they stopped because of the rainy season. In open cast mining, rainy season, you don't do mining. We have also negotiated an arrangement of our youths with what they call TD52, with Jubilee Metals and others. As it stands now, we are busy negotiating with Mopani. We have structured a deal. There are just a few finer details that needs to be clarified. We have negotiated for our Kitwe youths on an area called Area D. Then we have also done for Mopani. And when the finer details are done, then we'll bring stakeholders like members of parliament for Muflira and Kitwe, and then sit with them and see how our youths can benefit from that. That is what we are calling formalization. In fact, for the arrangement with Mopani, our youths are going to be trained. They are going to be supervised, given PPE, so that they mine safely. Also, I'm on a negotiating table with a company called Senseli, where you remember where our youths died?
Yes,
the
yes,
owners of that license. We are in discussion now to see how our youths there can do proper, safe mining. Apart from that, beyond the copper belt, that's why you've heard us giving us licenses. We've given licenses and we are formalizing. In my report yesterday, my presser yesterday, I talked about us setting up gold marketing centers. They are in construction as we speak, and we have appointed Zambia Gold as, the aggregator for the gold.
Honorable, I'll come to this question. Let's just add in a caller. Hi there, good morning. Hi there, good morning. Hello? I think the caller is still there, but they're not saying anything. Hello, good morning. Okay. Honorable, you have outlined how you are negotiating for the youths, and then you will be equipping them, you'll be training them in different areas. At what point do these youths get to a point where they don't appreciate all these things you're doing? We're waking up on 3rd April, and then there's a riot in Chingola.
Yeah, you know that the problem of...
I think the producer has added a caller. Hi there. Good morning.
Good morning, Showstar.
Good morning, thank you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Hemit, so calling you from Chirabombwe, boss.
Mr. Henry from Chirirabombwe.
Yes, Hemit.
Yes, kindly go on and talk to the Honorable Minister.
Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Good morning. Shandibane.
Bueno. What's the for Chirabombwe? Yeah, we just want to say thank you. There are a lot of things that if we want to talk if twice, if the twade mona porkari, mine space. But the focus is because we sana ba president, kwamba kumona impact modesta kono. Because I'm much driving gira, especially with the reviving of KCM, not mona contracting companies. I separation design. So to mukonga nyepo kubombesha feel kana besa. Thank you so much.
Before we go, we put in another caller. Honorable Minister, there's youths like these ones who are seeing the things you're doing and they're appreciating. There's also youths that I'm waking up on the 3rd of April, and then there's a riot and there's looting.
There won't be a phone call because this point is very important.
Please, I know. Please don't pick up that call.
I don't want my thought line to be different.
Please.
So, the problem of Jerabos, who we are calling now small-scale miners, is very historic. You know that there is a point where we really didn't even have kids going to school because they couldn't access education because it became expensive. So what happened? We began to breed these children who only knew that in the mining areas, and they have godfathers who send them. So they have not known education, and that is why the UPND government under President HH said, let's restore people back to school by introducing free education. Abantu babwekele mu abana tabakutete baye ku school. Devo nkuite scenario belia.
Showstar.
No, Jack.
Jackson
Do you know, Jack, that as at today, 2 million youths have gone back to school. Now, have you ever sat to think, what were we breeding in these 2 million people who are not going to school? It's things like having Jerabos in these tenements. That where they are so blind, and you can't blame them. They were trying to survive. They had no hope. So now they are still there because some of them they are teenagers. But they are in a life. So when you want to correct something, it's not going to be easy because they are thinking you're disturbing them, you don't want them to eat. When you tell them, guys, we were just, twaleshikula abantu 13 abafuire Papa Point. Nabambyuko toto yalisa afika 20 they died, it collapsed on them. And we said we can't continue losing lives through illegal mining. And those tenements have got license holders. So now we are talking to these license holders. How do we make our people benefit from this resource because Vamo now, they are trained geologists and surveyors by default, by being found on those tournaments. So, we can formalize them, make them, into proper miners, but supervised. So these are the discussions, except, Jack, it's a complicated matter because you as minister or as a politician, you want them to go and work because it's a source of livelihood. They want to survive, they want to eat. But the alternative is for them to be supervised by the legal mine owners there. It is good that KCMB is back, Mopani is back, so we can actually, in fact, what we are trying to do now is to negotiate. Almost 800 youths are going to benefit when that one is done. So, these are some of the things that we need to do.
Let's add in a caller. Hi there. Good afternoon. Hello. Okay. We've lost a caller. See if you can use the number on the screen. There's a number on the screen that you can use and be able to give us a call. And of course, Honorable Minister will be able to address your concerns. Honorable Minister, before we add in a caller, you were telling me about the mine that you closed down. Going forward, what are some of the things that government is doing to make sure that there's strict compliance?
Okay, so government still, as you know, the Zambian laws are very adequate to address these issues of, misbehavior in terms of, safety standards.
Yes.
These things are there. But of course, enhancement is creating a new legal framework, which is the Minerals Commission Act now, that will also speak to that, to check compliance. Mining companies are mandated. If you go to any mining company today, there are mantras about safety.
Yes.
No lost time injuries, what. In fact, there are even competitions about safety in the mining space because, Jack, this I'll say, you cannot avoid mining. You cannot avoid 100% accidents in the mine. They will happen. But you need to investigate. Was it negligence? Was it a natural occurrence? What really happened? And this is what is being investigated at Sino to find out really was the walls of these dams, compromised? What was the integrity? How were they checking them? Have they had people supervising? Because the way dams are, tailings dams, in the mining companies. I remember growing up on a mine and we were very near a tailings dam called Lubengele. There was mine police every day, 24/7. Number two, we had, engineers going to check, metallurgists going to check the integrity of the walls, whether these dams can burst or not. It is something that it's a daily routine. So when that happens, you need to find out how did it happen.
Is there a caller there? Hi there.
Good morning.
Good morning, thank you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Sinazongwe.
You're calling from Sinazongwe. Your name, sir?
I'm Oscar.
Oscar.
Yes.
You may go on and talk to Honorable Minister.
Okay, thank you so much. If you want to thank for the great work, to thank the work the minister is doing. He's doing a commendable job. Then I wanted to find out from the minister actually. We have a Chinese-owned mine in Sinazongwe. I think there was a clip on them on TV where literally the villagers, the land itself caved in. And the Ministry of Mines have never sent some inspectors to check the extent of the damage. We don't want to have something like what happened in Chingola where people were buried alive and then you start retrieving bodies. As I'm speaking now, another portion of the land is just caved in again. So what I wanted to find out from the minister.
Mine? Just confirm. Is it Column Coal?
Are you able to mention the name?
Yes, Column Coal Mine.
Okay, we are aware about that one. Okay.
Yes. Last week again, another portion about I would say about 12 meters down, the land caved in.
Okay.
And those guys are not even allowing the people to check and to see what is happening. So what I want to find out from the minister is to know what they are doing about that mine.
Okay.
Because literally, they have caused the havoc there.
Okay.
They are not even doing anything, and people are just cheering. And what I would say, it's like people are helpless.
Okay.
They feel the government has let them down.
Okay.
So I want to find out what the minister is doing about the column mine itself.
Thank you,
And
sir.
when are they going to send the team of safety engineers to check what is happening on the ground, so that the exact extent of the damage and the what will say the dangers, which the possible future dangers which may happen, because those guys will leave. Then we don't know when they leave, what will happen.
Thank you.
So that's my question to the minister.
Thank you, sir.
So much.
Thank you. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Yeah, so Jack,
Thank you.
Column Core has been a very problematic mine. They close, they make good, open. So I think that I will have to find out from my officers, because I'm aware that recently there were challenges on that mine and my officers went there. So I need to make follow-ups on the reports that they are brought back after they went and visited the mine.
So you've punished them, you've closed them down, they make good, you open them, then they go back to...
remember a mine, maybe you were a young man, a certain minister went and cried in Southern Province?
Yeah, I think I do, yes.
You
yes,
remember that one? That's the same place. It was a minister in MMD government, I think, who went there and shed tears when she found she was actually a lady minister by then, Southern Province. So that is the same place.
What would you do different?
We have closed it once so that they make good the areas what they need to make good. But I think that if something else has happened again, I think we need to make a serious follow-up. If they don't, behave, we'll just shut it down completely. Of course, we want to strike a balance between them creating jobs for our people, but also keeping the very people whose jobs they are creating.
Yeah, they need to keep them alive and
Exactly.
and all. Okay, there's a caller there. Hi there, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Your name and where you calling us from?
This is Bwana Hemito calling you from Kitwe.
Bwana Hemito calling from Kitwe.
Yes, good afternoon, Honorable Minister.
Good afternoon, Bwana Emito.
Yes, boss Minister, I want to talk about policies. I'm understanding PAMA policies and what we are seeing now. We just want to take time and appreciate the good and stable policies that you've put in place with President Haka in the Ichirema, mining sector. Because already, Kudama MP constituents kumien kuchira wombo. Wale wa company muya wa mingomba wa cobalt. Due to the policies of my people, we have seen CSR project because there's like a school they've built Kawama, a new secondary school. They've donated equipment hospital, Kuni hospital in area. So it's because of these things. These mining companies have been there, but but this company is still doing exploration, but they're able to donate. But CSR project. It's because of the good policies to them. That's what the ones that you put in place, President Haka in HM.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you go, Bwana Hemito. Hello? Hey, before you go, you are in the area where some youths, you sound like not a senior citizen like me, but you sound like a young person. You're in an area where young people would wake up and make a lot of noise and loot. Do you people talk to each other?
We do talk to each other, and moreover, if you're in a question, my Showstar. Some of us that follow keenly President Haka in the HM. So the policies, the direction of the and we encounter problems, pressure from people. There are people that don't take time They just there to criticize, they just criticize and all that. We do talk to each other with people, our names too. Yeah, we talk to them, we tell them. Sometimes we have to put them Lalanda. Let's look at it. Relation to a speaker, if you speak and if relation to a speak.
No, we should continue talking to each other. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much, Ashok.
Honorable Minister, before we come to a close, how do you respond to the gentleman.
Well, I'm glad that there are youths that are seeing that really we are taking this country on the positive path. Numbers don't lie. Our economy has stopped growing in the negative. It's now in the positive. Like you said, it's about time we translated these figures, to real benefit on the people. And I explained a few things. You can hear you saying we've heard the contractors are back in KCM and are employing.
Yes.
That is a trickle-down effect of the policies and decisions that, we are making. So I would like more youths to have a buy-in, like, Bwana Emito, who has just said, we are seeing what is happening. We know.
And very important, Honorable, very important. If you're going to tell us, no, stop mining, first we build this property, but my hunger will not wait.
Of course.
Is there a plan B for me to wait?
The plan B is really to formalize people, like for the youths, so that we try to run as fast as we can on these matters, but sometimes, like I said, when you are pressing a boil, the pain will be felt, but we have to reach
for the
this
better.
And do it
for the better.
So that we solve it once and for all.
Honorable, as we close, kindly talk to my producers. We can pick a last call. Hi there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Your name and where you calling us from?
Nine was in Kamba Kumflira.
Basinkamba landeni na wa honorable mkwa bare umfwa.
Honorable Mwabombashan.
I'm quite sure.
We know. I'm one of the contractors that suppliers that was owed money by KCM. But ever since your visit with the Copper Belt Minister, Narida Bwati my invoice to a new, I got paid after 29 days. So should we expect that every time we are owed money, we have to wait for you to visit these mines, or this will continue? Because if they are paying like this, it means I can pay my workers on time and pay my taxes on time. So when we are owed or when we invoice, do we need to come to the government every time, or is this a new slate for KCM?
Thank you.
That's a wonderful question. I like that. Thank you.
Important.
Thank you very much, sir. So
I think what we did, Jack, and Sinkamba, who has just called, sounds like a young man as well. Our role when we went to the Copper Belt was to check compliance on the agreements.
Yes.
And I'm glad that there is feedback that the mines have now within 29 days invoices are being paid, which is very good. So we'll wait to see whether they will begin to abrogate those agreements again. Then we'll say it cannot be always that the minister must visit the mines for you to behave. So let's give them a benefit of doubt after our visit that they are now paying. Let's check in the next 3-4 months if really, they'll continue on the same path. If they don't, then we'll say no. So were you just trying to pay our people to make us ministers feel good?
But also on that same point, Honorable Minister, do you have people, of which I think you do, people that should go ahead of you to check compliance, other than, because his point is that should we always wait for the minister to come for us to get paid?
Yes.
But even if the minister doesn't come, maybe his people can come and check compliance.
Exactly. So we do have those people, except Jack. That's why I said we needed the Minerals Commission Act to be put in place quicker, because this is one of the issues that is going to cure.
Wonderful.
Even the local content bill, because what we are calling the Minerals and Geological and Minerals Development Bill speaks to local content. And we are just waiting for the technocrats to craft the SI, which I'll sign into law, and then the local content thresholds will kick in. That is very important for our local suppliers and contractors. Cries from companies like a cleaning contract being given to
international foreigner, yes.
All those who now will be under, because there will be quite a good threshold, I believe, as we sign, so that all jobs that can be done by Zambians must be done by Zambians, and a certain level of business must be given only to Zambians. That is coming. And I want to sign that thing like yesterday.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
Honorable Minister, your closing remarks into that camera.
So first and foremost, thank you very much, Jack, for hosting me. My appeal to our people is number one, yes, we feel with you. It's been a process. We've been running a process to make sure that, we bring the mining sector back to speed. We are excited that Luansha is back through Shaft 28. We are excited that Chambeshi, Karulushi, there is NFCA. And by the way, there are serious movement in terms of reopening Chivuluma mine in Kalulushi, which is a very good thing. We are excited that Mopani KCM are firing in cylinders, production is going up. This is what we wanted. We are happy that people are allowing more suppliers and contractors to be in their database. My only appeal is to the mining companies to deal with their contractor companies, because most of the workers that are working for contractors are not getting really what is due to them. So we want improved workers' conditions for those workers who are working for contractors. We engaged when we were on the Copper Belt. We made a statement countrywide that please take care of our contractor employees. There are serious complaints, Jack. A lot of them are getting as low as 1,500, yet they go underground, yet they do tough jobs. So we want these issues to be holistically looked at, why contractor workers are paying peanuts. Otherwise, I want to wish our workers a happy Labor Day. It's a time to reflect where we are coming from, what we can also do to discuss. And I want to appeal, Jack, to our people. When there are issues, let's not go to social media to insult. Let's not go to social media to address people. Let's dialogue. This government is about dialoguing. So let's dialogue. Let's talk to each other. Our offices are open. When you are aggrieved, come to us. We'll talk to you. Call us. We'll talk to you, dialogue, and see where we can make things better for our people. Thank you. Excuse me. I wish you all the best for Labor Day and enjoy holidays. Thank you very much.
Honorable, wish you all the same on this holiday.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you.
Been on the show with Honorable Paul Kabuswe, his Mines and Minerals Development Minister, and I hope you have picked up one or two things that he has shared on the show. Until next time, have a wonderful Labor Day.